It's a sad start to today's show as we remember actor and comedian and Southern gentleman Leslie Jordan. Leslie died yesterday in Hollywood. Police believe that he suffered a medical emergency while driving in Hollywood, and then he crashed into the side of a building. Leslie is currently a co-star on the Fox sitcom Call Me Kat, and he was only 67 years old, which, my goodness, nowadays it's basically like a teenager, you know, and I just sad. Leslie became a social media star, amongst other things. But don't worry, we're going to go through his whole career, but he became a social media star recently for the kiddos during the pandemic. Because he found Instagram, and you know, we were all stuck in our houses, and he's like, wait a minute, I can express myself and tell my famous stories on Instagram, and he did it. Here's one of them.
I'm here in the airport flying home. Well, listen, when I got to security, they pulled me out of the line and they said they had to check me for bomb residue. But put me behind a curtain and started feeling me up. Listen, I know I'm hot, and I know that dynamite comes in small packages. But really, now.
That's just... I know dynamite comes in small packages. He told the story. I watched this twice on TikTok yesterday. He told the story about he's eating dinner and he goes, my mom and my sisters were on a road trip.
Oh, this is my favorite.
This is my favorite. And they went to, my mom goes, we went to Kissimmee, Florida. She goes, isn't that a great name for a town? And Leslie says, Mom, I think it's a Native American name. It's Kissimmee, you know. She says, no, I don't think so. He goes, so they went in to get some food, and they went inside, and she goes, the mom goes, where are we? And how do you pronounce where we are? And the woman behind the counter goes, Burger King, Burger King.
In his accent, Burger King.
Burger King. And I don't read that story with the aplomb and the charm that Leslie did, but I tried to come close. Where are we? Burger King. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you, ma'am.
Yeah. And listen to this. Leslie in the 60s got nearly 6 million followers. 6 million followers for Leslie. And I love that. And you know, we're going to read some remembrances. All of his friends mentioned that he loved this part of his career. He loved social media because literally that story I just told you, that was Leslie. He was eating dinner and he just picked up his phone, looked in the camera and told that story.
Told the story.
Yeah. Well, I was lucky enough to interview Leslie several times on this broadcast and several times on my radio show on My Talk 107.1. The last time he was here in person was just a few years ago, July 2018. And we got two clips, Jeff, right? We got two of them, yeah. This is the first one, and here he is talking about his American Horror Story, because remember, he was in everything, but he was in that in the season with Lady Gaga. Look at this.
But you know what? I always judge people. I can tell within 10 minutes of meeting you how you were raised.
Really?
If you, you know, I'm from a Southern mother, please, thank you. Just manners, and she's a good girl. She's crazy. There's something bad wrong with her. But she's a good, you know, there's a good heart there, and she was brought up right, so.
Oh, like on a crazy scale of 1 to 10, where are we looking?
Probably 30.
Where, on a crazy scale from 1 to 10, 30. Leslie with us also talked about his character in the Oscar-nominated movie, The Help. Look at this.
I'll tell you exactly what you're playing, Leslie. Every Southern town in the late 60s, late 50s, early 60s had one. I said, one what? He said, that man who's married with 5 children, but oh, honey, you know. So I'm playing the town sissy.
And you know what? I don't love that word, but he could get away with it. You know, he truly could. I say this We're lucky. I say this quite often. I always tell you the real deal with celebrities when they come in here. What are they really like? And I said this on the radio show. Leslie was really one of the best. I mean, and you've heard me say that, so I'm not just pulling that out of the hat because he passed. On the radio show, my co-host there, Alexis, we always thought to ourselves, well, this is going to be an easy day of work because you sit down, you turn the mic on, and Leslie just goes. We played a clip this morning because he would just say anything. I mean, and he had an edit button. He didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but you could get him to spill the tea because he's worked with everybody. And one of my favorite stories that he told was he was on Desperate Housewives toward the end of the run of the show. And I said, you know, what was that like? He goes, none of those ladies talked to each other. He goes, they all hated each other. And then he talked about Terry Hatcher and how no one talked to her. He goes, nobody liked Terry, but she was her own worst enemy. And talked about James Spader and working with him on Boston Legal. I mean, he had a way with telling stories. That's why his one-man show was so successful. That's why he was always here, by the way. And every time he would come in here, this is the real Mark. I watch him. I watch the celebrities and how they treat the crew. And he was always willing to take a picture and talk with anybody. And if you go on your Facebook, every one of my friends has a picture with him. That's a proof of how not every single friend of mine has a picture with Leslie. Leslie became well known for his frequent guest spots on Will and Grace. He played Karen's nemesis, Beverly Leslie. And here's a look at some of his best scenes.
Karen Walker. I thought I smelled gin and regret.
Beverly Leslie, you look more like a woman every time I see you.
Karen Walker. So nice to see you.
Why, Beverly Leslie, if you'd sit on a phone book, it would be nice to see you too.
Karen Walker in the flesh. Whose flesh is unclear.
Why, Beverly Leslie, what are you doing later tonight, honey? I'm having a few friends over for a game of Monopoly, and I'm missing one of the pieces.
Oh, okay. Jordan won an Emmy for his work on Will and Grace, deservedly so, back in '05. And the cast of Will and Grace all remembered Jordan yesterday. Megan Mullally, who played Karen, shared this picture. This is from the reboot, saying, "My heart is breaking." Leslie Jordan was hands down one of the greats. She goes on to say, "One thing I know for sure, there will never be another you." Sean Hayes, who played Jack, said Leslie Jordan was one of the funniest people I ever had the pleasure of working with. Everyone who ever met him loved him. Eric McCormick, who played Will, shared a picture of him having lunch with Leslie back in '14. He said, "Rest in peace, you sweet, hilarious man. We all adored you." And Deborah Messing, of course, Grace. "How can this be?" she wrote. "The joy and delight you brought into my life has been a beautiful gift. Fly with the angels, friend, and sing, sing, sing." Yeah. And tributes have poured out. We were talking about this. Another good mark of a good human is how many people say nice things about you. Dolly, every walk of life, every version of entertainment, with music. Dolly Parton sent out a condolence. Did you see that?
Yeah, big old message.
Yeah, he was just like I said, he was the real deal, and we're all really grateful that he walked into this building and he sat on that couch and he made us all laugh, and we'll have that forever. Lots more to come. We'll be right back.